Picture this, you're gliding across crystal clear water looking down at a prehistoric world below. A turtle drifts by, an alligator suns itself on the shore, maybe, if you're lucky, a manatee will float past, and then, wait, was that a monkey swinging through the trees? Hold up, monkeys? Wild monkeys? Wild monkeys in Florida. Yep, and we will get to those in just a few minutes. Welcome to Silver Spring State Park, one of Florida's most legendary natural wonders, and fun fact, it's the state's oldest tourist attraction. Located in Ocala, this place has been drawing visitors here for over a century, thanks to its massive artesian springs that pump out over 500 million gallons of water every single day, forming the breathtaking Silver River. Long before Florida became the theme park capital of the universe, Silver Springs was the place to visit. People came here from all over to see the iconic glass-bottom boats, the movie-worthy scenery, and yes, the wild monkey-filled forests. If you love nature, history, and just the right amount of Florida weirdness, you will probably love this place. And unlike some other Florida attractions, you won't even have to sell a kidney to afford it. Now for me, Silver Springs is pure nostalgia. My grandparents lived nearby here, and every Florida vacation included a stop here. Back in the 80s and 90s, this place was a full-on attraction. It was huge. It had rides, a Jeep safari, animal shows, a concert stage, and even a water park. So yeah, this place was kind of a big deal, but over time, things have changed a little bit, and Silver Springs isn't quite the bustling attraction it used to be. But maybe that's a good thing, because now it's a peaceful, nature-filled escape, a place where you can step back in time and experience old Florida the way it used to be. So if you're looking for an adventure that's equal parts classic charm and outdoor fun, stick around, because here are 5 solid reasons why Silver Springs still deserves a spot on your Florida bucket list. Now first, let's talk about price, because this place is so cheap to visit that it's almost hard to believe. Park admission here is just $2 per person. Yep, just $2 today, still in 2025, when I just literally a few hours ago paid like $9 for a carton of eggs. This place is just $2 per person to get in here. That's like 1980s prices, which, hey, I guess plays into that whole nostalgia angle I was just talking about. And parking is free too. For just $2, you can come in here and explore the park, walk along the nature trails and elevated boardwalks that will take you through the forest and along the beautiful Silver River. There's a retro-themed cafe in here, complete with a jukebox full of old tunes and even a full-service bar, but you are free to bring in your own food too, so pack a cooler, throw in a few Publix subs, and come out here for a really cheap day in a really beautiful spot. Next, of course, we're going to talk about the star of the show, the star of Silver Springs, the thing that made this place famous, those classic and iconic glass-bottom boat tours. These boats have been cruising the Silver River here since 1878, way back when the original owners of this land put a sheet of glass on the bottom of a rowboat, and even though he didn't know it at the time, he created the OG Florida attraction. Because before Mickey Mouse moved in and built his empire, this was the place to be, and tourists were coming here to marvel at the crystal clear springs and the mysterious depths from these glass-bottom boats. But what makes this ride so special? The water here is so clear you can see straight to the bottom where ancient artifacts, fish, turtles, and even some old movie props still rest. That's right, Silver Springs was once a major Hollywood filming location. Scenes from Tarzan, yes, the classic Tarzan, and Creature from the Black Lagoon were shot right here, so as you gaze into the deep, just imagine a rubber-suited monster lurking below, waiting to jump out and do whatever lagoon creatures do. Now this is an extra fee, and it's not included in that ridiculously cheap $2 admission fee. That would really be too good to be true. But a ride on the glass-bottom boats is still really reasonable at $15, and that's for a 30-minute tour, and they depart about every 20 minutes. But if that's not enough for you, there is an extended 90-minute tour too that departs 3 times per day, and that one costs $25. Now these boat tours are very, very popular, so I really recommend reserving in advance. The day I was here to visit and record all this stuff, all the boat rides for the day were sold out. So play it safe and reserve these in advance. It would be a really big bummer to come out here with plans to do this, only to strike out. So I will leave in the description a link on where you can go to reserve your spot on the glass-bottom boat tour. Now let's talk about the wildlife. Silver Springs is home to a ridiculous variety of creatures. All the Florida standards are here. This river just seems to be packed with turtles. The day we were here, it seemed like you couldn't go 2 minutes without seeing a turtle or a bunch of turtles. There's still plenty of gators here too, so if you're hoping to see one, you probably won't be disappointed. And this place is really popular with bird watchers and nature photographers. The day we were here, we even saw an otter swimming across the river. But the real stars of the show, the wild monkeys. And yeah, you heard that right, wild monkeys. Wild monkeys actually live in this park. Back in the 1930s, a local boat tour operator here thought it would be a genius idea to release rhesus monkeys on a little island on the river just to spice things up a bit and make his jungle cruise tours feel a little bit more exotic, but he didn't realize that monkeys can swim. And they quickly escaped that little prison island, multiplied like crazy, and established a colony of an estimated 400 monkeys in the park. Now fast forward a century later, and these mischievous monkeys have spread throughout the area, swinging through the trees like they own the place. But a word of important advice, if you see any of them, don't get close to them, don't try to pet them, don't make eye contact with them, they see that as a threat, and whatever you do, don't feed them. They may look cute, but they've got bad attitudes, these little guys. They've been known to gang up on people, they've been known to bite, scratch, throw their poo at people who tick them off, and you know, a lot of them even carry herpes, so yeah. It's really fun to see them, but look from a distance so you don't take home a permanent souvenir from a monkey encounter gone wrong. And what I think is really interesting here is that the park doesn't seem to want to even officially acknowledge their presence here. There's no mention of them on the website or anywhere in the park, so they're more of a if you know kind of a deal. We were lucky enough to spot a bunch of them along the side of the river while kayaking here, and we even told a few other people paddling towards them on our way back up that there were monkeys up ahead. I'd see some people kayaking towards us and I'd say, hey, there's a bunch of monkeys up ahead on the left, and a few of them would look at me and go like, ha, yeah, whatever, right, like I was crazy or just pulling their leg. But no, we saw monkeys, saw a bunch of monkeys, and apparently there's 400 of these guys living in here. And speaking of kayaking, if you're up for the adventure, paddling on the Silver River is a must. The water is so clear you'll feel like you're floating on air, and the scenery here is absolutely unreal. Lush cypress trees, Spanish moss, lots and lots of those turtles, and the occasional gator side-eyeing you from the banks. Look below, you'll see fish swimming everywhere, and if you're lucky, you might even spot a manatee. No manatees the day we were here, but we saw monkeys, we saw an otter, turtles, fish, all of them. You can bring your own kayak, canoe, or paddleboard, but if you don't have one, no worries, you can rent one here. They even have clear kayaks with transparent hulls, so you can look straight down into the water while you paddle, kind of like having your own very personal glass-bottom boat. And there are fully guided paddling tours you can join too. These are 2-hour-long tours that are led by a Silver Springs adventure guide, and they're suitable for all levels of paddler, from beginner on up to expert. But just like those glass-bottom boat tours, the paddling here is really popular, so if you need to rent a kayak, canoe, or paddleboard, you really should reserve one in advance. And as beautiful as the river is, parts of it can actually get a bit busy with kayak traffic, especially on weekends and when there's a big tour group paddling together. But most people will stay relatively close to the main spring area, so if you go just a little bit further down the river, it really opens up and there's far fewer people and a lot more serene beauty. But just remember, that main spring is pushing 500 million gallons a day down this river, and you'll need to paddle back against a surprisingly swift current on the way back. So just remember that you can go as far as you want, but eventually you'll need to paddle back, and the further you go, the harder it's going to get. But I absolutely love kayaking here. This is one of my favorite places in Florida to go paddling, and I really think this is such a cool thing for out-of-towners and tourists to come and try. It's a great way to see some of Florida's most iconic scenery. Now, the price of those rentals will vary quite a bit depending on what kind of watercraft you rent. Kayak, paddleboard, or canoe, they're all going to be a little bit different, but it generally starts at $30 an hour for the single kayak, up to $60 for an all-day rental. And I'll post a link on how to reserve these with all the prices in the description. And if you bring your own boat, there's a $4 launching fee plus that $2 park admission. And last but not least, I did touch on this a little bit in the intro, Silver Springs is just dripping with nostalgia. This is where generations of visitors came before Florida tourism went all high-tech and all roller coaster crazy. If you ever wanted to experience a slice of classic Florida charm before it went all nuts, it's really hard to beat this place. This park has been a Hollywood hotspot for decades. Those old black and white Tarzan movies, filmed right here, Creature from the Black Lagoon, this was his home turf. And old classic TV shows like Sea Hunt were all filmed in these waters. This was basically Florida's version of a classic movie set when they were looking for a place that looked lush and exotic, with water clear enough to film in, but with fewer paparazzi and a lot more alligators. Walking through this park feels like you're stepping back into a time machine. The old wooden docks, the vintage signs, the throwback vibe of the boat tours. It's all a great reminder of a time when Florida tourism was about the nature, adventure, and all those weird roadside attractions, which I honestly love. And this is really the OG roadside attraction. This is Florida's original attraction. Everything across the state, Disney, Universal, Busch Gardens, everything can trace its roots right back here to Silver Springs. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. That is 5 solid reasons why you should put Silver Springs on your Florida bucket list. Whether you're here for the glass bottom boats, the wildlife, the monkeys, the peaceful paddling, or just that trip down Nostalgia Lane, this park delivers an unforgettable experience. I love Silver Springs. And the best part, you won't go broke doing it. $2 a person. Hard to beat that. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe for more fun Florida adventures from the theme parks to the state parks, and let me know in the comments, what's your favorite old Florida attraction? Let me know, and maybe I'll hit that one in a future video. And if you want to support the channel directly, please check out our Patreon. We might even splash your name on the screen right here at the end if you do. All right, thanks a lot. See you next time.